Alright, hi guys, welcome back to Higurashi no Naku Koro ni. We are on now on to chapter 5. For those of you watching on Twitch, make sure to follow me on YouTube in case there's any stupid music copyright issues on Twitch and things get muted. And for those of you watching me on YouTube, make sure to like my video and subscribe because you know you like it because I'm a fantastic actress. Alright, so without further ado, let's just dive right in. I don't know. It keeps switching people, so I'm not sure who will be, but I'm kind of hoping Keiji because I want more Keiji. Who must be Keiji since we see Rika. Wait, what? What is going on? It was a very humid day. I don't know who we are yet, so we'll just keep it normal. Not even a slight breeze was blowing. It had been an unpleasant summer, one that wasn't only hot, but sweltering so. There were various articles of clothing hung out to dry in the messy apartment windows, but the lack of wind invoked an impression far removed from coolness. In fact, it only felt more oppressive. So, I don't know. There were crooked houses and apartments lining the narrow, twisting road. In addition, there were planters, flower pots whose contents were beginning to rot, as well as bicycles and cars on the side of the road, making it even more cramped, more oppressive, and all the more sweltering. Nobody who was in this place at the time was visiting it voluntarily. But, in spite of what everyone might expect, a single motorcycle came rolling in. The motorcycle stopped in front of a two-story... Oh, it's Satoko's uncle, isn't it? That was the last tip. The motorcycle stopped in front of a two-story apartment, one that could hardly be called neat, even as flattery. A man, fairly old and wrinkled, stepped off. When a nearby housewife hanging out the laundry noticed him, she called out, "Well, hello there! It's quite hot again today, isn't it? You've got that right. I feel like I'm gonna boil out here." Still don't know who this is. Suddenly I got goosebumps all over my body. I think Rika, maybe, or Keiichi, I'm not sure. I felt like something bad was about to happen for no reason. Everyone gets this feeling in a different way. Some people get a twitch in their eyelids, or some kind of movement in their ears. In my case, I get goosebumps. Okay, where we go. Satoko was supposed to be cooking dinner tonight. We didn't have much inside the refrigerator, so I asked her to go to the grocery shopping. I was just watching TV and relaxing while I waited for her. She was usually back by the time my cartoon was over, after which she'd start cooking dinner. But my cartoon was over. The news had started, and Satoko wasn't home yet. Satoko sometimes waited until they had a sale at the store. In that case, she usually come home late. That must be what was happening. It was too early for me to start worrying about her. But I can't explain this feeling. I can't explain it, but I feel extremely worried. Once I started feeling like that, I couldn't just sit in the room and wait for her. Hanyu? Hanyu? Where are you? I thought she might know where Satoko might be, but she's never around when I need her. Hanyu's not with me 24 hours a day. She sometimes falls asleep and sometimes goes for walks. Though in her case, it's not a walk, but more like a stalk. She follows people around when she finds someone interesting and she enjoys observing them. Anyway, I had no choice. I have to find Satoko on my own. I had a good idea which stores Satoko goes to. I should check those first. We're in Hinamizawa. If I asked people, they'd tell me where she went.
Hello there, Rika. It's a blessing to see you here.
Did you see Satoko here in any chance?
I haven't seen Satoko. I've been out all day, so I would have seen her if I had.
I didn't even have time to say thanks. I ran to the next door. People were greeting me and waving at me. I'd usually smile and greet them back, but I had no time for that at the moment. Satoko! 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 I need Satoko in my life. I was able to survive for so long because of her support. Without her, this world would be so empty and boring. Satoko is nonchalant and optimistic, unlike me. I've learned so many things from her over the past 100 years. But I still need to learn more from her. Satoko! Satoko! People stared at me as I ran by them, screaming out her name. I didn't care what they thought, though. Satoko! 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 Why are they looking at me like that? I'm looking for Satoko. Somebody tell me where she is. My heart was convulsing inside my body like a fish out of water. What little stamina I have, I hate my body for being so young.
You know, the store on the corner always has a sale in the evening. She might be there.
I went to a few different places, but I still couldn't find her anywhere. The people I talked to gave me advice on where to go, but I couldn't find her in any of the places they suggested. I continued to run looking for her. I continued to run even when I bumped into people.
I don't know. I've had so many customers, I can't remember.
There are only a few places in Hinamizawa we can go grocery shopping. It shouldn't be that difficult to find her, so why couldn't I? I tripped on something in the street and fell flat on the ground. Oh. I injured my hand on a small rock embedded in the ground. I didn't feel much pain even though I said ow. It just felt hot, and as I touched a frying pan, suddenly someone handed me a pretty handkerchief. Are you okay? Did you get hurt? Reina, did you see Satoko anywhere? Reina was carrying a grocery bag. I heard that Satoko bumps into Reina often when she goes grocery shopping. They tend to choose the same stores. Satoko? No, I didn't see her today. Was she out grocery shopping? Yes. You didn't see her? No, I didn't. But there's no way she would have missed the big sale at the market today. I was there, but I didn't see her. My brain wasn't getting enough oxygen. It took me a while to understand what Reina was talking about. I understood that Reina didn't see Satoko. But that wasn't the point. They had a huge sale on the market today? There's no way Satoko would miss the sale. But she still didn't see her? What was that supposed to mean? What happened? Did she leave her wallet at home or something? Well, I couldn't find the right words to explain. Should I tell her I feared something bad happened to Satoko and that's why I was looking for her? No, I couldn't do that. I couldn't think too deeply about why she hadn't come home. What's wrong? Can't I help? Talk to me. I knew she was just trying to help me. I even thought I needed someone to help me just a few moments before. But now that she was here, I had no idea what I was supposed to say. No, that's not it. The truth is, I know. Somehow I know. I wouldn't have to know if it was someone else. But I have to know this. Rika has to know what's going on. I know it. I remember. I knew this was coming. I've experienced it in a world before where Satoko suddenly disappeared. But the possibility for that happening is as low as Aksaka showing up in Hinamizawa. It only happened randomly in my other lives. This is not the first time. It happened before, too. I should see it for myself. I needed to see if I've gotten stuck inside a devastating world again. Will you talk to me? I'm sorry. Goodbye. Rika! I started running.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the loop. Is that when the little Miss Bitch isn't ripping off Reina's dad, she's not getting money to pay off, I think it's the Sonozakis or the Yakuza, and then she goes missing, which is what leads to Satoko's uncle coming back. And since Reina usually doesn't speak up, that's probably what happens.
I started running. I couldn't pretend like I didn't know where she was. Please don't tell me I was blessed only up to this point, that I'm about to fall back into my unfortunate fate from here. I thought this world was different. I thought I could move on to a happy future. I thought I would be able to defeat my deadly fate in this life. But this was just horrible. It was horrible that this was happening to this world. I was standing in front of the place that I hate the most in Hinamizawa. Yes, it's Satoko's real home, the Hojo residence. I'd been living with her since last fall, so this house was empty. In the beginning, she used to come back here to pick up her clothing and other necessities. But once she moved most of her stuff to my house, Satoko stayed away from this place. This was a sad place for Satoko, because all she could remember of it was the horrible time she spent with her uncle and aunt, and the memory of her missing brother Satoshi. That's why she never wanted to come back here. But that wasn't the reason I hate this house. It's because I know what happens whenever this house becomes an issue in my life. Oh God, please, please bless me with just one more fortune. I closed my eyes and prayed. Then I slowly opened them. The window was open on the second floor. I saw faded curtains swinging inside. As soon as I saw that, my knees realized what was going on even before my mind processed it. In the next moment, I lost strength in my legs and collapsed on the ground. I saw an unfamiliar motorcycle parked by the house. I also saw laundry and futon hanging outside. I was certain someone was living here. It was proof that someone was living here. It's never good when there's someone living inside this house. This was very, very bad. I knew exactly why. I knew why, but I felt like I wanted to act like I didn't know. Rika? Satoko! Satoko went outside to take the futon and noticed me. Rika? Satoko looked down and forced herself to smile. I felt so sad. It wasn't just her expression. I could tell her left cheek was red and swollen. Satoko, don't stay here. Let's go home. I took her hand, but she still looked down without squeezing. Rika, I think I'm going to go back to this house. Why? Why is that? My uncle came back, and he told me we should live together in this house. I know that's not what you want. You don't have to live with your mean uncle. But I have no choice. If I go back to your house, he'll come and get me. I don't want to cause any trouble for you.
So now that, the interesting thing is now that Shion's taking care of Satoko, what will be different, right?
She gave up with a sad smile.
Shion might end up murdering him instead of Keiichi.
She looks exactly how she looked 1 year ago in 1982. Her uncle only slapped her face, and she's back to being Satoko from 1982. The cheerful Satoko that I knew until yesterday couldn't be found. I took care of Satoko and tried to heal her wounded heart for over a year. She finally got her smile back. Her uncle took it all away with just one slap. A broken soul can recover over time, but her damaged heart can never be fixed completely.
I really love that phrase.
Just took the broken pieces and put them back together. The cracks in her heart will always be there. That's why she wouldn't come with me. No matter how hard I tried to pull her hand, she couldn't get over the fear. She knew just how scary her uncle could be.
Satoko! What the hell are you doing? You better not go anywhere!
I heard a disgusting voice from inside the house. Satoko stared at the ground. Her shoulders were shaking.
Huh? Who the hell's this?
He came out and stood right beside her.
It's nothing. I just bumped into my friend. I don't care. Go inside and clean the bathtub. I want to take a bath, you idiot.
Satoko scampered back inside the house like a terrified small animal. I feel devastated as I watch her go.
Were you asking her out to play? I'm sorry, but she's busy taking care of chores. I'm her uncle. I've been out for a while on a business trip. I'm finally back in the village, you know?
Liar. He only showed up because his lover went missing. In another world, I once let my hatred out on him. Then he inflicted that anger in equal turn onto Satoko. So I couldn't allow the dark flame burning within my chest to reflect in my eyes. Since I couldn't make myself smile, and I couldn't insult him, all I could do was give him a short bow and run away.
You intimidated by my scary face, huh?
I heard his hideous laughter from behind me. I cried as I ran away. I couldn't stop. I thought this was a perfect world up until today. Why was God doing this to me? It was too cruel. But I couldn't give up. I couldn't do anything, but I still had a hope for this world. I didn't think the luck I had until yesterday was just random. I went back to my house in a hurry. I needed to make a phone call. I didn't know the number. It was the first time calling. I looked in the phone book and found it easily. I made a call to that number.
Keiichi or Akusaka? Wait, what? That's weird. Oh, hello. Didn't expect to get a call from you, Furude. What can I do for you?
I already knew Oishi could never save Satoko based on what I've seen in my previous lives. For him, Satoko is only a good way to get at the Sonozaki family. Her uncle is probably his prey in that regard too. Even if I talked to him about her situation, he would do nothing to save her.
Akusaka?
The only thing he'd tell me would be to call the Child Consultation Center. I want to talk with Akusaka. Is he there?
Akusaka-san? He went to the hot springs in Wako with his wife.
Wakura? That's not anywhere near here. I thought he was staying until the Watanagashi.
I heard he was gonna stay in a hotel owned by a relative of his. I wish I could go. What? You wanna know where Wakura is? It's in the Ishikawa prefecture on the Noto Peninsula.
No way. He told me he was staying until the Watanagashi. I thought he meant he was staying in Hinamizawa. Did he actually mean this area and the country in general? Can you get a hold of him somehow? That was a meaningless question. There was no way I could get him to come here while he's enjoying his trip with his wife. Even if I can talk to him on my phone, he'll probably only tell me to call the child consultation center or something.
I don't know where he's staying. I heard it's a very famous luxury hotel, so I can make a pretty good guess. But I'm sure they won't give me the room number since they're strict about customer privacy these days.
Okay then. Did Aksaka tell you if he's coming to the Minagoroshi festival?
Oh, yes he did. He's coming back here after the hot springs. They stayed here for one night and then left for the Noda Peninsula. I'm sure they'll be back before the day of the festival. I'm so glad to see her reaching out to Aksaka though. He said he'd be back with a souvenir for you. Now reach out to Keiichi. Come on.
Oh, terrible. I thought it was too good to be true. I knew it was kind of strange for him to stay in a boring place like this. My luck seems to be turning. This might not be a surprise, though. Just like I can roll a 6 3 times in a row. I can roll a 1 3 times in a row, too. Happy things and unhappy things can happen with equal probability.
Hello? If you want to leave a message, I'll take it for you.
I looked at the calendar on the wall. I didn't know when he was coming back, but I was certain he wouldn't be for at least 1 more week. I thought back to the past and tried to remember what happened. That guy will break Satoko apart in 1 week. I couldn't wait that long. I had to give up on seeking help from Aksaka. That's okay. I still had 1 more option. 1 more person I could rely on. No, that's alright. Thank you for your help. Rika. I hung up the phone after thanking him. I couldn't make a phone call to the next person. I'd have to talk to him in person.
What?
Keiichi! I put my shoes on and headed to the idiot clinic. The clinic's hours were over for the day. There was usually no one here after that. However, since Tomitake was here, they should still be inside the building for a meeting. They had to be there. The front door of the clinic was locked as I expected. I went around to the back door and rang the bell. The whole clinic is nervous when Tomitake is around. They usually ignore visitors, but I'm special.
What's wrong? I heard you had an emergency. You need me too? That doesn't sound good.
Irie and Takano showed up as soon as after I was taken to the visitor's room. If Rika has an emergency, then it's a priority for these 2 people. I'm the most important person in this village.
Could it be someone is trying to get you? You are protected at all times by the elite security of the mountain dogs. They've been watching you since the day we made that promise.
No doubt about that. They saved me right away when we had that confrontation with those 3 delinquents. That's not it. I have a favor to ask. I want you to save Satoko.
What happened to Satoko?
Irie doesn't have that much power alone, even if you really want us to save her. Takano chose the mountain dogs, so she does have that power. In my previous life, I was never able to get help from the mountain dogs because I wasn't on good terms with Takano. But this world is different. I have a better relationship with her in this life, and she even kept the promise she made. I trust their ability completely now.
Teppei Hojo's back? That's horrible.
It was mainly Satoko's aunt who was abusing her last year, but Irie knows that her uncle was violent with her too. I told them Satoko had gone back to the same condition she was in the previous year. I don't know what will happen. I need you to help me save Satoko. Irie seemed to want to do something, but he didn't know exactly what. What do we do?
Shall we call the police and let them know?
I don't know about that. At the moment, it's not like anything serious has happened, is it? But it's only a matter of time. Something bad is going to happen if we don't do anything else. I hate to say that it's only a matter of time. I knew how she was going to get abused and how she'd end up. I'd have seen it. I really wanted to tell them. I couldn't. As it hasn't happened in this world yet, they just think I was imagining it.
I think you should call the Child Consultation Center first. I remember Satoko made a false report to the Child Consultation Center once. I wonder if they would take us seriously.
The answer's no. My friends contacted the Child Consultation Center several times in the past, but Satoko always refuses their help. She claims that she isn't being abused. The Satoko from 1983 might have asked their help. But currently, she was the Satoko from 1982. For her, living with her uncle reminds her of the time when Satoshi was around. She feels like Satoshi will come back if she can live strongly, without always relying on her brother. Even if the child consultation were to take the case seriously, it's just too late. I tried to remember. In the most recent world I experienced, it only took a few days after Satoko was kidnapped by her uncle. It only took a few days for him to tear our heart apart. We had no time. We needed to take action quickly. I can't really do anything unless she seeks help. I think Dr. Irie can call the police, but that's about it. I'm so sorry. That's not it! I want you to help her, Takano! Irie and Takano looked shocked and both went quiet. They didn't expect me to seek help from Takano.
You mean you want us to take a much bolder action?
I'm here to ask for that. I wouldn't be here this late otherwise.
I understand, but...
Irie, if you truly cherish Satoko, then please, just listen to me this once. Please, save Satoko. In less than a few days, she'll really end up in horrible shape. That's already guaranteed. If you try and wait and see how things go, it'll be no different than watching her die. Have you forgotten how Satoko was last year, Irie? She already reverted to that state right this very second. In a few more days, it'll be too late. All I could do was stare at him, believing that Irie could see the future. Only I knew the tragic end awaiting Satoko reflected in my eyes. Irie remained too silent for too long, a time to call brief. Someone trying to think of an excuse to avoid the issue wouldn't go silent that long. I was recalling Satoko's terrible state last year and seriously considering if my plea was as urgent as I made it out to be. I know he really cares about her. That's why I need his help. What shall we do? Irie nodded and looked up. I guess he finally came to a conclusion. I just hope it's a positive one.
Hana, please do what Rika wants you to.
Irie!
I remember how hopeless I felt when I couldn't do anything to save Satoko last year. I want to take this chance and save her this time.
But doctor... Takano didn't think that Irie would make that decision. She seemed shocked to hear his response.
I would like you to ask you as the director of this clinic. Please help Satoko.
Dr. Irie, what do you mean when you say help her?
Please calm down.
Satoko is very important to us. He has greatly contributed to our research for a long time.
Protecting her is considered one of your work orders.
Irie continued, though Takano tried to persuade him.
Kosuke Irie was asking as your boss. Please save Satoko.
I stared into Takano's eyes together with him. I thought you and Satoko were friends. Please help her.
Help her, huh? That's a hypocritical way of saying it. You're not telling me to kidnap her and lock her up somewhere safe. You want me to help her so she can have a normal, happy life. In other words, you want her uncle dead, right? You have the right to make the ultimate decision of how you're going to save her. But if you don't want to, I don't mind making that decision.
Dr. Irie.
No, Section Chief. If we carry out your order, both you and I will be responsible for it. Are you sure you're ready for that?
I looked at his face.
So, Takano clearly has power, which leads into my theory about her being able to fake her death even more.
Unlike me, Irie has many things to lose. I knew that Takano's words would shake him emotionally. However, Irie was determined.
Yes, that's fine. Even if I'm called forward to defend my actions, that's better than betraying my own heart. An impressive show for someone who doesn't know what a hearing's like. If you do it quietly, they may not find out about it in Tokyo. Everyone would be happy that way. All risk, no reward?
If you want, I'll show you more treasures in the shrine. I'll never restrict you from seeing those things, so please help me. The risk she's taking is larger than the reward I'm offering. But that's about the only thing I can offer her. I don't care about the traditions of Furudo Day as long as I can save my friend from suffering.
Fine. I don't want to be the bad guy here.
She forced a smile and accepted the favor I asked her for.
Thank you, Takano. I want you to make the decision of how to save her. I'll have a meeting with Okanogi later to plan out the mission.
Not later, it has to be now. She promised to save Satoko, but she still wasn't motivated. It'd be too late if she didn't do something right now. I tried to make Takano understand this is an urgent matter.
That's right. Rika and I want to see some kind of result right now. I'm sorry for asking you at this time, but can you please contact them? You guys are so passionate about her. Okay. It might take a few minutes. Thank you so much. No problem. It's an order from my boss. I'll do whatever I can. Just don't forget that promise you made, Rika.
I promise. I'll even serve you some rice cakes and tea when you come to the shrine. Takano smiled slightly and left the room. Once we finally heard her footsteps fade away, the tension in the room dissolved. Irie offered me something to drink, but I refused. He must have thought everything was taken care of, but I couldn't relax until Satoko was physically returning to me. Irie. Does she have enough medication with her? Her uncle will keep her locked inside the house so she won't be able to come here for a while.
Fortunately, I gave her a stock of medicine and needles last week. She should be fine for a while. However, her mental state can't be controlled by the medication. If she gets too stressed, that can really cause some damage.
That will happen within a few days. Takano hadn't come back yet. I thought it'd be bad news if she came back too early. But I started feeling nervous after she'd taken too long. Irie insisted that I go home because it was very late. I couldn't go home and relax, however, until I heard from her that everything was taken care of. I had to wait for her to come back. I needed to deal with this tension until then. Over an hour later, Takano finally returned.
Sorry it took so long. How did it go?
She was looking for the right words. I got a very bad feeling from her reaction alone.
Unfortunately, it won't go as easy as we hoped anymore. Why is that? There was a murder in Okonomiya not too long ago. The police suspect Teppei Hojo of involvement in the crime and they have him marked. A murder? What do you mean? Some woman named Mamiya laid her hands on the Sonozaki family earnings and was murdered to set an example. Apparently, the police have taken an interest in the relationship between the Hojos and the Sonozakis. Turns out, that woman was Teppei Hojo's lover. Nagashi is getting closer too. The police want to prevent the 5th curse of Oyashiro this year, so they've marked Teppei as a candidate for this year's victim and started casting their lines. What do you mean by lines? They suspect they can reel in the true culprit if they keep their eyes on Teppei. So, you mean... Rika, I'm sorry, but the mountain dogs can't do anything to him until the police stop spying on him. No. I thought the mountain dogs could perform any mission, no matter how difficult. That's only when we plan it out carefully with extensive preparation. Usually we take a long time to observe the target and we look for the right opportunity. It can take between 6 months and 1 year for a mission like this. Remember, we are a secret organization. We must remain under the spotlight. If our secret is revealed, everything is over. It's too risky for us to target someone like him. Then, when is the right opportunity? It'll be after Nagashi at the earliest. After the festival, the police will stop watching him. But that would be too late. She's saying it'd be after Nagashi. I didn't even know if that was a day or after a year after. She also said it usually takes 6 months to prepare this kind of mission. That's too long. I thought this world was different. But that hope was slipping through my fingers. So how can we save Satoko? I think it's best to follow the rules. We should report this to the police or child consultation center. We can even talk to the school. I did that so many times, but it never works! Ire and Takano were surprised. They never expected me to raise my voice. In fact, I didn't think myself I would react this way. I couldn't keep my emotions in check after Takano suggested all those meaningless solutions. I've cooperated with you guys all this time. I never asked for anything, and I give you my full support. But now you can't save Satoko? With all that power you have, why are you so afraid of saving her? The police and public servants are useless. You guys only take advantage of us and never actually help. Fine, I get it. I know now this world is nothing but a dead end. I'm not interested in you guys anymore. I don't care about this world anymore. I can never escape my fate. It's the same old fate that I keep repeating. You just burn to death in the mountains. You take sleeping pills and commit suicide. I'll die. Just like I always do. Lose my life without knowing how I'm killed. This life is nothing but dead end. I was born to be killed in this world. Die! Everyone die! There's no meaning. I can't put words to emotions anymore. I start to cry. I was so lucky. Up until yesterday, I had so much hope in my heart. But it had all been for nothing. It felt like everything was falling apart. I've lived more than 100 years. I've lived longer than any normal human. I thought I was blessed with good fortune. For the first time in my life, this would never happen to me again. I thought a miracle had occurred, but everything was shattered. I cried, and I cursed this world. I needed to give up on my life as soon as possible. Satoko would be waiting for me with a smile in the next one. I wanted to see her, but what would happen to Satoko if I abandoned her in this world? I didn't know.
And I didn't care. Satoko, 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 Satoko. I'm a witch who has lived for 100 years. But I still couldn't rid myself of the human emotions in my heart. I didn't get anything to eat because Satoko was supposed to be making dinner tonight. I didn't have an appetite anyways, so I figured I should just go to bed. Still had to make lunch for the next day though. Satoko might come to school tomorrow. I rinsed the rice, hoping that I wouldn't have to waste the lunch I was making for the two of us. I have to stop thinking like that. I already knew it was a waste. I already knew that Satoko was never coming again. I felt so miserable while rinsing the rice. The tears started dropping into it as I thought about her. Why was this happening? I thought everything changed when Keiji gave the doll to Mion. In that world, Mion pretended to be her sister for a week and got closer to Keiichi. But that wasn't happening this time. I thought we would be having a good time until the festival. Huh? That's on. Wasn't that club activity 2 weeks before Watanagashi? I'd realized something. The club activity was exactly the same, but it happened 1 week earlier than the world I knew of. It was 1 week earlier than in my previous life. I get it now. I thought I was familiar with this world, but it was actually a different one where events are mixed up. That means that even though Keiichi gave the doll to me and it didn't solve everything, I thought I was getting lucky. I was confident everything was going to be okay. I stopped making an effort. I knew there was a possibility that Satoko's uncle came back, and I let her go do the grocery shopping. I would have been more careful and kept her at home if I knew that he was coming back to get her. I should be careful in my next life. But there wouldn't be a next life that was so fortunate. I didn't get that lucky often. Even if I locked Satoko in the closet, it would be over if Reina's father messed up something or if Keiji lost his mind. I have to clear up everything that's not within my reach. And I also have to make the best effort I can. Without that, I can't overcome the fate of 1983. In this life, I may be able to overcome my deadly fate with Takano's help. Satoko will not be there in my future. That defeats the whole purpose. My goal is to survive this year while laughing with my best friends. I don't want to sacrifice Satoko in order to survive. I don't want to live in a world without her. I was blessed with all these fortunes. I still couldn't defeat my destiny. I ruined everything because I stopped working so hard. I will never again have a lucky life like this. I lost my first and only chance. And scratched the floor. I didn't know if I should curse my fate or curse myself for not putting enough effort. Before I realized it, Hanyu was standing in front of me. I didn't know how long she had been there. She just stared down at me with a look of pity on her face. Hanyu, you know what you're gonna say. You want me to tell you that you told me not to get my hopes up. Oh, there's no way I want to get my hopes up. With with it being the first time I was blessed with so many fortunate circumstances, I believed everything would go well. But you were always telling me not to expect too much. She probably felt something strange at the toy store that day. She realized the date was 1 week off, and this was not the same world that I knew. She had realized early on that I still shouldn't be too excited about this life. I've been with you for so long. So let me tell you this first before you ask me. I couldn't predict what fate held for us today either. The only advice I can give you is this. Fate in this world is as fickle as the weather. Nothing more than a trifle unworthy of joy or sorrow. There are 6 sides on a die. That's the reality of it. And it doesn't mean that 6 is the best number either. I should just take any number that I roll. I shouldn't be disappointed if I roll a 1 a few times in a row. It's pathetic how I thought rolling a 6 was the best result you could obtain. I still have so many things to learn even though I've been living for 100 years. I told you several times, but this world is not a miracle. If you wait patiently, you will come across the real miracle someday. How many decades am I supposed to wait? How many centuries do I have to wait? We don't have much power left anymore. I don't think we can go back to a time before June of 1983. The amount of time we can rewind keeps decreasing. You're telling me to just repeat that short amount of time for years? I almost lost my mind when we were repeating a few years over and over. But you're telling me to repeat 1 or 2 years for 2 weeks for years until a miracle happens? It's impossible. I was betting on this world. I bet all my coins on this one. And I lost. I lost all my coins to this fate. No more coin left in my heart. These coins are known as hope. I have no coins left to hope for my dreams to come true. Oh, Rika. I lay on the floor as if I collapsed. The floor should have been cold, but I didn't feel anything. I lost all my hope. I always thought people could survive as long as they had some bread and water. But that's not right. People can't live without hope. People can survive because they believe that something good will happen to them eventually. As long as they keep living. But that's just for normal people who don't know what awaits them in their future. There is no such hope for a witch like me. I don't care. I don't care about anything anymore. I don't care about this life. And I don't care about the next. I just want to disappear and turn to ash. Oh, Rika, please don't say that. Rika. Hanyu's voice gradually fades away. I slowly lost my senses as I lay down on the kitchen floor and let myself sink into the darkness. I told you. Oh, God, that breaks my heart. I dragged my body to school, hoping that Satoko might be there. Come on, Keiichi, be the hero. Come on, Keiichi, baby. But just as I expected, there was no one sitting in her seat. I felt all the more devastated just seeing it empty. had nothing left to bet on. All I could do was get hurt and suffer. Blood flowed from my broken heart and found its way out through my eyes in the form of tears. Something wrong, Furude? Is Hojo absent today? The whole class was wondering why I came late and why Satoko wasn't with me. But even if I felt sympathy from everyone else, I didn't feel any promise from them. No one here was able to save Satoko. No one. No one could save her. Why should I have to keep smiling at all these useless people? This world is finished anyway. I leave matters alone, and a few days after the Watnagashi festival, my movie reel will be cut as I'm murdered like usual. And I'll return to the beginning of this month again. And so I'll continue to live forever in June 1983, trapped. Even death won't set me free from that prison. Furude, please talk to me. Something happened. Where is Hojo? Is she sick? Shut up! The whole class gasped. No one expected Rika to talk like that. I myself made such blunt statements a few times in several past worlds, but it was the first time in that world that anyone heard anything like that. That must have been very easy for them, and I envied them. But Furude? She was standing there dumbfounded. I stood up from my seat. If Satoko wasn't around, I didn't want to be locked up inside this human place. I'm going home. I'm not coming in here anymore. Goodbye. I felt like saying something like that. However, I retained the small hope that Satoko might go to school the next day, so I kept it to myself. However, Chi wouldn't let me go. She grabbed me by the arm and dragged me to the teacher's office instead. She told me to take a seat on the couch by the principal's office. She had no right to tell me what to do. I could just escape through the open window. As I didn't have that kind of energy, however, I just sat on the couch as she told me to. I realized then I didn't even have the energy to be rebellious. Maybe Satoko felt the same. She lost the energy to rebel, and so she was simply obeying her uncle. Furude, please tell me what is going on. I'm sure I can help you. She spoke to me, but I already knew those words were empty. All she would do was call the child consultation center. She wouldn't go to the Hojo residence and pull Satoko out of there. So there was no point in even discussing the topic with her. If I told her, she wouldn't keep it to herself, and shortly everyone would know about what was happening with Satoko. That would only result in chaos. They call the child consultation center. The staff there will go and visit Satoko. Her uncle will deny the abuse, and Satoko will deny it because of guilt. Shortly after they find out about the false reports, and they decide not to process anything, her uncle will allow Satoko to go to school for a few days, but his abuse will get worse because he thinks she's the one who called the child consultation center. He'll do horrible things to her, just like Aunt did last year. Calling the child consultation center will not help Satoko. It will instead put her in an even worse situation. It's better not to notify them at all. But if we don't report it, then how else is this world supposed to improve? No, nothing is going to change. There's nothing that can be done once this unfortunate fate overtakes Satoko. You say Hojo's uncle's back, is that true? He had somehow answered all of Chi's questions without noticing. I knew that nothing would change whether I spoke to her or not, so I just told her everything, because I had no energy to rebel. I understand what's going on now. This is horrible. So, now that you know, what can you do? Chi answered right away without faltering, already used to my spiteful tone. I'll visit her house today. I need to see Satoko and talk to her myself. Then if there's a problem, you're going to call the child consultation center, right? They have it on record showing that she made false reports in the past. They'll never do anything unless there's proof. just like the police, who don't start investigations until after someone's dead. They won't do anything unless Satoko is killed. When that happens, this is what both the child and school will say. We never saw this coming. She was such a bright girl. We'll just repeat the same words as if scripted. You people are idiots. I believe that the people from the center will do something about it. I'll make sure to tell them she needs help. You've done the same in previous lives. I wasn't denying her passion, but I couldn't say there was meaning to it. The problem wasn't with Chi. The problem was with them. No matter how hard Chi tries to seek help from child services, it meant nothing as long as they held base notions about Satoko bias.
That's what I was saying. I was like, Shion is here.
It doesn't matter if they find proof of abuse or not. I suddenly heard a voice from the hallway. It was Shion. Chi shouted, "Who's there?" And I heard Mion grasping, "Crap." They must have been listening to our conversation. They were having a quiet discussion outside the door, but Shion accidentally raised her voice. She gets so violent sometimes. 4 people entered the room from the hallway. Mion, Shion, Keiichi, and Reina.
I told you to stay in class. Go back.
We can't. Not in this situation. What are you going to do if something happens to Satoko?
Do you want to be responsible for that?
There's no time to waste. We have to do something right now. My sister's saying that things will get worse unless there's some kind of proof of abuse, but it'll be too late once there is. Do you want to see Satoko dead, Mion? That's not what I'm trying to say. Like I told you, Satoko made a false report to the abuse hotline, and they have that record at the Child Consultation Center. Without proof, they won't investigate her case any further. Just think about what that means. It'll only make her uncle more furious. Satoko's situation will get even worse.
What the hell? They're supposed to help her before something happens, right? Are they really not going to do anything unless she's seriously injured?
Calm down, you two. I feel the same as she and Kay. I don't want to wait until something bad happens, but we need to think about what we can
do. What can we do? Talk to the Child Consultation Center, right? If we had the guarantee they'd help her, it'd be fine, but Mion, you're saying it's highly likely they'll put her case on hold, right?
Yeah.
This is very similar, except for Shion's here, which is interesting.
Unfortunately, that's what I think they'll do, just like last year. On top of that, she was in an even worse situation then. They put her case on hold even though Satoko was already in horrible shape. But this time, it's only been a day since her uncle took her. Plus, her uncle has legal custody of her. We don't need to be so roundabout.
All we have to do is ambush that bastard and kill him.
You can't do that. Satoshi wouldn't want that. Then how do we save her? Satoshi entrusted me. He trusted me to look after Satoko. If anything happens to her, I could never face him again. Having our hands tied until Satoko's been thoroughly abused isn't an option. When a crime is taking place right before your eyes, is reporting it the first thing you do? No. You stop it. We have to stop this ourselves. Calm down, Shion. You're the head of the Sonozaki family, aren't you? Use your power to save her. You can, can't you? You have enough power to save her. I know the Heg's policy is to stay completely out of Hojo's affairs because of her grudge over the dam conflict. No matter what happens to Satoko, the Sonozaki branch intends to ignore it, don't they? If neither the Child Consultation Center nor the Sonozaki family can save her, I have to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to kill that pig. I'm going to do it right now. It's not going to take more than 1,500 seconds for me to get over to his house and stab him to death. What can you do in 1,500 seconds? You can't do anything, can you? I'm going to do it. I'm going to help her. Let me go.
So this is interesting, and it's interesting that she brought up the seconds because I'm pretty sure Keiichi mentioned that in the world where he killed the uncle, and I'm pretty sure that's like the exact number that he used, which is interesting. So I'm hoping that we'll see Keiichi's point of view and he'll get some flashbacks. I'm going to kill him right now. Ah! Shion, settle down! Stop saying that or you're gonna get into big trouble.
They were desperately discussing how to save her. I just sat on the couch and stared. I had seen this same discussion many times, in many different situations. I was tired. The only difference was that everything was happening a few days earlier than usual. Rika, it's okay. I'm not going to expect anything good anymore. I don't have any hope left in my heart. Anya made a sad expression. I couldn't tell if she was sad about our fate or if she was taking pity on me. Just as she promised, she went to Satoko's house after school. It had only been a day since Satoko's uncle took her away. She wouldn't be able to tell if he'd hurt her already or not. If the students hadn't made such a big fuss about it, she would have waited a couple of days before going to her house. She already knew, however, about what happened to Satoko the previous year. She also knew that her uncle was abusing her just like her aunt, and that he had neglected to act as her guardian for the whole year. Considering those factors...
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Crap. What did I do? Okay, we'll just read from here.
Considering those factors, it might not have been too soon for her to visit the Hojo residence. Satoko hadn't shown up in school that day. No one called the school to explain her absence. That alone was proof that her uncle wasn't taking responsibility as her guardian. She was going to her house to see what was going on with her own eyes. She parked the car in the street and checked the map she brought from the school. It said Hojo residence on the sign in front of the house. She was certain it had to be the place. The window on the second floor was open, and she could see the curtain hanging there.
I don't think this is Rika's perspective anymore, so we're gonna go to normal voice. From that window, she could hear the laughing voices of several old men. No one had answered the phone when she called right before leaving the school. She could also hear the clicking noise of mahjong tiles along with the voices. She had never played mahjong before, but had a pretty good idea that it was from the way the men were talking. If they were playing mahjong, there must have been 3 other men inside the house. Her students have told her that Satoko's uncle was a very violent man. She was a teacher, true, but she was also just a young lady. She felt hesitant to ring the doorbell after hearing their disgusting laughter. But courage drove her forward. She made her decision and rang the doorbell. She heard the bell ring inside the house. But the laughing voices continued to echo from the floor. It seemed as though they didn't hear the bell. She rang the bell again, and this time the laughter stopped for a moment. Someone must have heard the sound. But soon after, they started laughing again. It didn't sound like anyone was coming to get the door. She thought someone heard the bell, but perhaps not. She was sure they were home, of course. She couldn't just leave because no one was answering. She knocked and yelled loudly this time. Hello? Are you home, Hojos? Finally, the laughter stopped and a man with a scary look on his face opened the door. Who the fuck are you? Shut up and get the hell out of here. She felt immediately intimidated by him, but her heart was filled with the teacher's pride and responsibility. Hello, are you Hojo? Before she could introduce herself, Teppei screamed at her. Shut up! I don't need no newspaper, no milk, no insurance. I'm busy right now. I'm working. The people in the room laughed when he told her he was working. She wouldn't give up. She continued to speak. I'm the teacher at Hinamizawa Branch School. My name's Chi. Is Satoko here? Huh? What the hell? What the hell do you want with Satoko? I came here because she didn't come to school today. I wasn't able to get a hold of her, so I'm wondering what happened. Huh? School? Yes, is she home? I need to talk with her. She's sick. That's right, she has a cold. Satoko's resting because she has a fever. I need to give her some handouts. May I please see her? An idiot. Weren't you listening to what I just said? Satoko's sick. She's sleeping right now. I can't let you see her. I see. Do you think she can come to school tomorrow? Who knows? I won't know until then, you idiot. I see. Alright. Please tell her I came by. Thank you. She bowed, but by the time she lifted her head, Tepe was no longer there. When Chi returned to school, several students emerged from the classroom. They were Keiichi, Reina, Mion, and Shion. Rika was also still inside the classroom, but she wouldn't come outside. Chi, how did it go? You went to Satoko's house, right? You're all waiting for me? Chi, how was Satoko? Was she okay? Well, I didn't get to see her. What the hell were you doing? You're the teacher, right? You came back just because you didn't let you see her? Stop it, Shion. That's about what we expected. Oh, I'm sure Satoko has a bruise on her face by now. That's why he didn't want you to see her. You should have just ran into the house. I can't even trust you anymore. I'm sorry. Stop it, Chi. I wonder if Shi's revenge is gonna go on everyone who didn't help Satoko now. She did the best she could. Now you know for sure. Satoko's uncle definitely has her locked inside the house. We knew that from the start. Rika's been telling you all day. We wasted half a day just to find out if that's true. How the hell do you think you can help Satoko? Calm down. Let's make a plan. We care about her as much as you do. We're not going to abandon her. Let's come up with a way to save her. I already gave you my opinion, didn't I? It's the best solution we have. I can handle it myself. I only need your help to hide his body. Why would you say that in front of the teacher? Stop it, Chi! Stop saying such violent things! Murder is a serious crime! It's the worst thing you can even think about! Then give me a different idea! If my idea is wrong, then give me one! Even if it's only a little bit better. Come on! Come on! See? You can't even say anything! I can save Satoko in 1,500 seconds! I'll just drag his body to Onigashima Swamp and dump him in there! I don't even need your help, sis! What's wrong? Why don't you come up with another idea? That's not the point! You try to figure it all by yourself, then all you think is up! And that's all you think of! Let me tell you something. 1,500 seconds? That's taking way too long. I would save it with 1,000 seconds. If I were you, I'd just leave her silently and do what I want to do. Do you know why I'm not doing that? It's because someone told me once that even if it's the only option you have, murder is still something you should never do. It's not the right thing, and it's never the best thing. You just think it's the best solution because you're not thinking properly. A long time ago, I don't know who told me this, but someone taught it to me. If there's something that troubles you,
You can't think about it all on your own. You can't think that your own solution is the best way to conclude things. We should all think about it together. If we brainstorm, I'm sure we can come up with a better solution. It's not about my idea is wrong or right. Just think about it. Every minute we waste puts Satoko in more danger. Do you hate the Hojo family that much? No one is supposed to help Satoshi and Satoko, no matter how much they're struggling. I'm going to help her. Get out of my way. I'm leaving. I'm going to stab that loser and save Satoko. No, she. You guys should curse yourselves. Curse your powerlessness. Fine. Brainstorm for another idea. You'll never come up with one. Just go ahead and neglect her. You've never really cared about her. You only think of her as someone you can play with. But I'm different. She's more than just a friend. She's like my family. I care about her more than you guys do. I'm going to kill him now.
I love seeing Shion like this. Wait a minute.
What is it? Are you trying to stop me?
Shion, you're not even understanding half of what Reina's trying to tell you.
What? I totally understand what she's saying. We can save her right away with just a little courage needed to murder him. But she's spouting hypocritical garbage to hide that fact.
Shion, do you think Satoko would appreciate it if you saved her by committing murder?
I'm not trying to seek her appreciation. I don't care what happens to me. Her happiness is all that matters.
That's not right. You're talking tough, but I know you're scared. In fact, you asked me on to help you hide the body. In other words, you want to have a normal life after killing her uncle. You want us all to be happy, just like a few days ago. You want us to be back where we were. But if you murder him, we'll never be like that again. Do you think you can really commit a perfect crime? You'll be arrested for sure.
I'm prepared to face that. If I could end Satoko's suffering by doing time behind bars, I'd gladly pay that price.
No, that's absolutely not true. You would curse yourself, and I'd bet on that. You would curse yourself and regret it, wondering how you drew the short straw and became a murderer. Then you'd finally realize what you wanted. It wasn't killing her uncle. It was returning us to our happy lives. Your wish will never come true if you commit murder. Satoko will also curse herself. She'll blame herself, think she's the reason that Shion became a murderer. In fact, who's going to force Satoko eat her squash if you get locked up? Who's going to talk about setting up mean traps with Satoko? You're supposed to do those things. Shion, you have to be by her side at all times. Don't kid yourself. What you're trying to do is not... For Satoko, it's a huge mistake.
If that's what you're saying, do you have an idea how to save her?
You don't, do you? You're such a hypocrite. I said move. I'm killing him. I'm going to kill him right now. Heiichi blocked her way by standing in front of the door. I like these. Shion gave him a hateful glare, but he just sent back a confident smile. I can't let you, Shion. The world we live in doesn't exist without you. I'm not going to let you go.
Is that so? That means you're siding with Teppei.
You're just as guilty as he is. I'll bust your head open and kill you first. Hey, don't be stupid, Shion. Quit it. Shion, what are you going to do with that chair? Stop it. Put that chair down.
He doesn't understand that I'm serious. I have to show him how determined I am.
You better get the hell out of my way now. Shion, I admit right now I have no better idea, but that's just for the moment. I'm sure we can come up with a better idea eventually. I guarantee it. I promise we're going to save her, so please, okay? Trust your friends.
If you're afraid of committing murder for Satoko's sake,
You're not my friend anymore. I'm not going to tell you this again. Get the hell out of my way!
Calm down and think about what you're saying. We will save Satoko. Just trust us. Don't try and look for a shortcut. Trust your friends. Trust me. Hi, Katie, my bar. I'm going to save Satoko for sure. You can bet on it. Shut up. I can't trust you. What do you think you can do for her? Shion. Shion threw the chair at Keiichi. It hit him hard and the chair fell to the floor with a loud noise. Keiichi was unfazed, even after being struck. He just stood in front of the exit, without even covering his face. Wait, he wasn't unfazed. A trail of blood was pouring from his forehead where the corner of the chair hurt him. That was nothing. You thought I would move out of the way? I'm not going to move, even if you kill me. If I let you go, we might never see you again. Satoko will think about you every day, and her heart will be filled with sadness. If that happens, there won't be anything we can do to make her happy. It's going to be a sad life for her. I don't want Satoko to live in a sad world like that. The future we want is a wild and riotous one. Just like what we had a few days ago. Of course, I won't let Satoko's uncle threaten her any longer. I haven't decided how I'm going to do it yet, but I will. I promise. So please, just trust me. Shion wasn't yet convinced. But even so, she walked to the window and took her seat. Somebody rested a hand on Keiichi's shoulder. It was the principal. He had been standing there listening to him for a while. So Shion was literally talking about murdering somebody seriously in front of everybody. Principal. Well done. I heard about what's going on. I'm sorry for being so powerless. I know it's only been a day, but I think this is an emergency. We should report this to the authorities. But sir, she called Child Consultation Center before. They're not going to help her anyway. It's just a waste of time. Shion raised her voice. The principal looked at Shion and started talking. Shion Sonozaki, there's one word that I really don't like. Do you know what that is? It's what you just said. The anyway that came out of your mouth. That's the cruelest word, which means admitting defeat before you even fight. By the time you've uttered that word, you've already lost your battle. I agree. I think we should try various options. Calling the child should be on the first step on the list. If that doesn't work, we can try second and third. Don't give up before you try. That's just as bad as not helping at all. Principal, if you're reporting this, then you'll make sure to convince them Satoko needs saving, right? Of course. Hojo-kun is my precious student. I'll do my best so that they'll save her. They will try and take action as quickly as possible, so if we call now, they should get to our house later tonight. I hope they'll help her. But what if they put her case on hold? If that happens, we should come up with our next plan. As long as we don't give up, we can help her somehow. Whatever you guys say. Satoko is getting hurt as we speak. Who's the one abandoning her here? Shion, I just promised you. We're going to save her. Not by committing murder, but by saving her in a way that will make her happy. You just watch. I, Keiichi Maibara, am promising you this. Shion stared out the window without looking at Keiichi's face. I'll try and find out what the consultation center does tonight. I'll call everyone when I do. I hope they'll take her into custody. We can't be optimistic about this. I think there's a huge chance they'll put her case on hold. What are we gonna do if that happens? If that happens, well... Damn it. Chi, let's go to the teacher's office. We need to make this call. Yes, we need to make sure they really understand. They left the classroom. Eiichi, Reina, and Mion got together and discussed their options. Shion was looking down and crying. Rika was just vaguely looking at them as if staring at a boring TV drama. Nothing will change. The Child Consultation Center will put her case on hold. Are we Hanyu, maybe? I've seen it so many times in previous lives. I almost hope they'll take her into custody just this once. But I have no more coins left to gamble on a hope like that. In a previous life, Casey killed Satoko's... I gotta do... In a previous life, Casey killed Satoko's uncle, but Shion was not there when it happened. When she is, I suppose she's the one who takes on that role. Their pathetic hopes will be crushed by tomorrow morning. The social worker will be at her house tonight, but Satoko will deny that she's being abused. Her uncle will assume that she was the one who called the service, and he'll abuse her even more. She'll come to school tomorrow because he doesn't want Child Consultation Center to be suspicious. We'll feel more and more hopeless when we see the death look in Satoko's eyes. I've been living for more than 100 years, and I've never defeated this fate. The fate of her uncle's return. I was blessed with so much luck, and I thought I could defeat it this time. But in the end, it all came down to the same thing. It was a waste to put in any effort. It was worthless. All worthless. The more I thought about the inescapable fate, the more I pitied these people for talking endlessly about how they were going to save Satoko.
The only person I could think it was Hanyu. Because if they're talking about Rika. Alright, so we're going to take a quick break and we will be right back. Thank you guys so much for watching. So once again, Keiichi said something with a very, very clear determination, making me think he remembered his past life. So, come on, Keiichi, babe. You can do it. Alright, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Toodaloos!